A very good day to everyone. I'm Yinyi, together with my group mates, Aina, Amaline, and also Rosetta. We are from Group 1. So we will be presenting our group project with the title of Analysis and Prediction on Rate of Return Items for Superstore Dataset. So in our presentation today, we will walk you through the introduction, analysis goal and objectives, the dataset description, SEMA Part 1, which is sample, SEMA Part 2, which is explore, and we'll end with our conclusion. So let's begin with a brief introduction of our project. The retail industry, being a huge and dynamic sector, serves as an essential conduit between suppliers and customers while playing a significant role as one of the main contributors to the global economy. And in today's fiercely competitive industry, data analysis become indispensable in helping the business understanding client behavior and streamlining company processes. By leveraging the power of data, retail businesses can gain valuable insight into numerous business factors. It will help the business owner to uncover sales patterns, understanding consumer behavior, and evaluate product performance, among other critical aspects. Our group has selected the Global Superstore dataset for our project. By studying this dataset, we will try to uncover some meaningful insight in the retail business. We will be using SEMA data mining process in this project. And in our presentation today, we will only focus on the sample and explore method. Before we dive into the detail, let's take a moment to discuss on our analysis goal and objective. Our project aims to determine the return trend based on the price of good. We try to understand how pricing affects customer behavior and return rates over time by studying the pattern and trends between the return number and its item price. Our second goal is to develop model for predicting the rate of return item by category and price. By the end of this project, we will create a predictive model that could estimate the likelihood of an item being a return based on its category and prices. This would help the retail business anticipate potential return rates, enabling them to manage inventory, optimizing their pricing strategy, and to prevent losses. And finally, is to evaluate the model using performance metrics by assessing the accuracy and effectiveness of our predictive model. It will allow us to identify area of improvement and fine-tune the model for a better result. At this point, I'll pass the baton to our next presenter, who will provide a detailed description of the dataset. Over to you, Malin.
Thanks, Yinyi. In the third section, we will talk about the dataset description. The dataset used is the Global Superstore. It has 29 attributes and 51,290 rows of transactions. The dataset attributes are listed starting from row ID to returned attribute. Furthermore, this dataset consists of one fact table and 4 dimension tables, namely customer, order, category, and salesperson, which will be further shown in the fourth section, sample in SEMA. This section depicts the fact table and 4 dimension tables, whereby in the fact table, there are 13 attributes that starts with the row ID until the returned attribute. In the next slide, the 4 dimension tables shown in this section are customer dimension table, order dimension table, category dimension table, as well as salesperson dimension table. Each of these tables has at least one common attribute, which are row ID and order ID. In the next slide, based on these aforementioned tables, it forms a star schema with a fact table at the center. Hence, merge function is applied for these 5 tables to combine all of the attributes, and as a result, there are 20 merged attributes altogether used for this explore section of SEMA, starting from row ID until returned attribute. My groupmate Rosida will then further elaborate in the explore section of SEMA. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Amaline. I will explain further on the exploration section. To start, the pie chart is used to identify if the dataset is biased for these 3 attributes. From the first and second pie chart, the sampling for return and salesperson gender attributes are balanced. On the contrary to the category attribute, where most of the items sold are categorized under office supply category. We can see that return and salesperson gender can be considered as target variable since they are unbiased and balanced. Okay, next slide, please. Based on these diagrams, it shows that the mode profit stands between range of USD 400 to USD 466. And due to other values showing very low frequency with a spike of 400 to 466 profit range, the number of bins is increased from 30 to 100 bins to deeper on which range that contribute to the high frequency of profit. From this enhancement, profit range reduced to USD negative 71 to USD 49, showing that the most profit made contributed from small value profit. Next slide, please. In addition, to analyze further on the histogram, the show missing pin feature is added, which indicates that there are a total number of 266 missing values under this attribute. With this information obtained from the analysis, the data cleaning needs to be conducted, and it may be in the form of deletion or imputation. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, further exploration on this analysis is to study pattern and missing value for discount, price, and net price attributes. The frequency of missing values for discount, price, and net price are more than 10,000, 19 and 17 respectively. In order to overcome this issue, the feasible action for price and net price is performing deletion since the number of missing value is small. However, to tackle missing value for discount attribute, it is more suitable to conduct imputation due to its having more than 5% of missing value. Okay, next slide, please. To have depth understanding of more than one attribute, correlation analysis is performed, whereby it involves at least two attributes that can be plotted under the same graph. We can see that under this diagram, it portrays the correlation analysis between shipping cost and profit, where there is a significant correlation between these two attributes, as shown by the highlighted area. Next slide, please. Okay, other than histogram performed earlier, bar chart can be used for qualitative variable. We can see that qualitative variable is defined as the data that is not numerical and whose outcomes are descriptive, where mathematical operation cannot be applied to it. Based on this diagram, bar chart is utilized to analyze category attribute, where each variables under category attributes are stand-alone class. From these three product categories, office supplies portrays the highest count of total items sold, which then contribute to the highest profit gained by Superstore. And based on this diagram, we can also conclude that there is significant correlation between category and profit attributes. I pass over to my team member, Aina, to explain further on the next section. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to the next bivariate analysis using bar chart. So a pressure is and one attribute. By using one attribute, we managed to analyze the order pattern based on quarterly basis. And from here, we could identify that most discounts are offered towards the end of the year, starting August onwards. Discount offered during this period may be due to public holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas Day, as well as big sales like tax-free weekend, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Super Saturday. According to the web article published by US News, these public holidays and big sales offer tax waive and discount for school and office supplies, electronic as well as household items. With that, this statement could support our analysis since these are of our Superstore dataset, which are office supplies, technology, and furniture. Next, figure 14 displays the relationship between number of returned with number of items sold by category. Office supplies contribute to the highest items sold between these 4 years, which impact the number of returned items. From the graph, we could see that the returned items for office supplies are almost triple than the other two categories. Hence, we can conclude that there is a positive correlation between returned items and items sold by category. This is due to the fact that the number of returns increases when the number of items sold also increases. Furthermore, another year and return attributes. Figure 15 shows the increasing pattern of returning items compared to previous year. It is quite direct for the graph itself, where similar observation can be implemented as before. Hence, we can summarize that the frequency of return items increase when the number of sold items per year increases. Next, we conduct multivariate analysis where it involves bar chart and histograms. From the analysis, we identify that the range of return price is between $0.98 and $227.36. With the analysis conducted before, where most items sold are under office supplies category, we can support this outcome where office supplies are usually. We believe that it matches the price range mentioned before. To conclude, there is high correlation between price category and return attributes in this dataset. Moving on to the last part, we explored 3 types of visualization to understand our group dataset better. In this pre-processing step, we first try to identify the target attributes, histogram mainly for quantitative variables like profit, discount, and price, as well as to identify missing value for each attribute. In contrast, bar chart is used mainly on qualitative variables in this project. From the pre-processing steps, we would like to further explore the dataset in order to identify if the price prediction on the rate of return by category and price of goods. We believe that this input will be very beneficial for retail, especially e-commerce, in reducing the rate of return items. In fact, it allows the industry to optimize its performance for a better business operation. To summarize our presentation, our next step is to perform modifying, modeling, and assessing step of such schema. That is all from us. Thank you.